You check your phone. Nothing. 10 minutes later, you check again. A slow reply can ruin your evening. A warm message the next morning can repair it. You reread a short sentence as if the punctuation contains a confession. You change your route because there is a chance you might see them. You remember the exact tone of their voice. You replay a conversation that probably lasted 3 minutes. And somewhere inside you, this begins to feel important. Not ordinary attraction, not simple curiosity, destiny. But here is the possibility most people do not want to consider. You may not have fallen in love with the person. You may have fallen in love with the relief of finally feeling seen. That does not make the feeling fake. The feeling may be completely real. But the strength of a feeling does not always reveal the truth of a relationship. Sometimes it reveals the depth of what was missing before the person arrived. Maybe your life had become quiet in the wrong way. You worked, you answered messages, you solved problems, you stayed dependable. People trusted you because you rarely needed anything from them. From the outside, nothing looked broken. You were functioning. But functioning is not the same as living. Nobody asked what it cost you to remain useful. Nobody noticed how long it had been since you felt understood. Then one person did. They remembered something small you said. They noticed when your mood changed. They asked how you were and waited long enough for the real answer. They laughed at a joke nobody else heard. For a few minutes, you were not an employee, a provider, a problem solver, or the person who always had things under control. You were simply a person. And when you have gone without that feeling for long enough, a little attention does not feel little. It feels like water after thirst. Marcus had been working late for months. He slept badly. He ate dinner in front of his laptop. Most conversations in his life were about deadlines, bills, tasks, or problems that needed fixing. Then a woman at work began checking on him. She remembered how he took his coffee. She noticed when he looked exhausted. One evening, she asked whether he was actually okay. Marcus gave the usual answer, "I'm fine," but she did not immediately walk away. Within weeks, he believed she understood him in a way nobody else did. But she had not entered his whole life. She had entered the part of it that was starving. The mind remembers relief. When tension leaves your body around someone, you begin to mark them as important. Their voice becomes associated with calm. Their messages become connected to hope. Their presence becomes a small escape from the emotional temperature of the rest of your life. This is not proof of love. It is the beginning of an association. And the mind can build an entire future from a few moments of relief. They listened, so you imagined they would always understand you. They were kind when you struggled, so you imagined they would be loyal in a relationship. They shared something personal, so you decide the bond must be rare. Maybe some of that is true, but you do not know yet. You have not seen them bored. You have not seen them angry. You have not watched them take responsibility after hurting someone. You do not know how they handle conflict, disappointment, boundaries, money, silence, or an ordinary Tuesday. You know selected moments. The rest comes from you. This is projection. Not because you invented the person from nothing. Projection usually begins with something real, a look, a gesture, a moment of tenderness. But your unmet needs take those fragments and finish the portrait. The less you know, the more room fantasy has to work. And uncertainty can make the attachment even stronger. One day they are warm, the next day they are distant. One message feels intimate. The next reply feels strangely cold. You tell yourself you only want clarity. But uncertainty has already taken control of your attention. A predictable reward becomes ordinary. An unpredictable reward keeps you checking. This is why warmth after distance can feel more powerful than steady kindness. The relief becomes larger because hope had started to disappear. Your mind begins waiting for the next emotional payment. When the woman at work began replying less often, Marcus told himself she was busy. He checked his phone between meetings. He noticed how long she spent talking to other people. A warm message from her could restore his entire day. A cold one could quietly destroy it. He began arriving earlier because she sometimes arrived early. He stayed later because there was a chance they might speak alone. He called it connection. But his entire nervous system had started waiting for her permission to feel good. This is the warning sign. The person is no longer simply part of your life. They are regulating your sense of value. When they choose you, you feel sharper, more attractive, more interesting, more alive. When they pull away, you do not only lose their attention, you lose access to the version of yourself that appeared in their presence. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. Do you want them? Or do you want the feeling that returns when they choose you? Those are not always the same thing. Modern life makes this confusion easy. You can be employed, busy, surrounded by people, and still have nowhere to speak honestly. You can communicate all day without saying anything real. You can be needed by everyone and known by no one. Being needed is not the same as being known. So when one person offers warmth, they begin carrying too much. Friendship, validation, intimacy, hope, escape, proof that your life is not finished, proof that you are still desirable, proof that you have not become invisible. No human being can carry all of that without becoming larger in your mind than they are in reality. And eventually, reality asks the fantasy to prove itself. Maybe they choose someone else. Maybe the shared environment disappears and the closeness disappears with it. Maybe you finally speak honestly and discover the connection existed differently in each of your minds. Or maybe you begin a relationship and learn that intense conversations at midnight do not solve ordinary conflict in daylight. Attraction can make your heart race. Compatibility is quieter. It appears in consistency, availability, honesty, shared values, emotional responsibility, the ability to remain kind when there is nothing exciting to gain. A person can understand your pain and still be wrong for your future. They can make you feel alive and still be unable to build a stable life with you. Marcus never told her how important she had become. Then she accepted another job. On her final day, she hugged him, thanked him for everything, and left. For weeks, Marcus believed he was grieving her, but eventually, he noticed something. He did not only miss her, he missed the man he had been around her, lighter, more interesting, less invisible. Her attention had briefly returned him to a part of himself he thought he had lost. And when she disappeared, that version of him seemed to disappear too. That is why the grief can feel larger than the relationship ever was. You are not only losing a person, you are losing the future you imagined, the conversations that never happened, the home that never existed, the life that was never promised, and the version of yourself who felt wanted inside that imagined future. Here is the bitter truth. Sometimes you do not miss them. You miss who you were when they paid attention. You miss what their attention seemed to prove, that you were still desirable, that you were not ordinary, that somebody could rescue you from the life you had slowly stopped feeling. This is why telling yourself to move on rarely works. You cannot remove the person while leaving the hunger untouched. Sooner or later, the mind will find another face and place the same promise there. The way out is not to become cold, it is to become accurate. Separate what happened from what you imagined. They sent a message. That happened. They secretly want me as an interpretation. They listen to you. That happened. They understand me better than anyone as a conclusion. They became distant. That happened. They are afraid of their feelings. Maybe a story created to protect you from rejection. Facts reduce confusion. Stories keep the attachment alive. Then ask what their attention gave you. Did it make you feel seen, desired, younger, more confident, less alone? Did it make a numb routine feel alive again? Name the need without shame. The need will remain even if the person disappears. Then stop feeding the loop. Do not manufacture encounters. Do not monitor their life. Do not reread old messages looking for a different ending. Every time you check, you teach your mind that this person is still the center of the problem. Distance is not punishment. Sometimes distance is how reality becomes visible again, and then rebuild what you placed inside them. Strengthen your friendships. Take care of your body. Return to work that means something beyond approval. Make your evenings belong to you again. Create reasons to feel alive that do not depend on a message arriving. Learn to sit with loneliness without turning the first person who relieves it into an answer. A grounded person does not stop feeling. They stop giving one person control over what their life means. What felt like destiny may have been emotional hunger meeting relief. The feeling was real, but its deepest message may not have been about them. It may have been showing you where your own life had gone empty. And once you see that clearly, the work is no longer to win the person. The work is to rebuild the part of yourself that believed it needed them to feel alive.